Banished from Earth, classic game room broadcasts from the intergalactic space arcade on its never-ending mission to review everything. Welcome to Classic Game Room for the first CGR Vita review. This is the excellent KILLZONE Mercenary. Let's check it out. Love the packaging. With the angry orange eyeballs, they're like, why haven't you bought a Vita yet? When you see this game, you will. And then you'll find out about the price of the memory card and maybe you won't. But the game is good, so never mind. Just ignore that part. KILLZONE! I've recently joined the PS Vita fan club, but I've been a long-time fan of the KILLZONE series. KILLZONE 2 is one of my favorite first-person shooters of all time. And the original on PlayStation 2 was great. Released in 2004, KILLZONE has always felt like Sony's pissed-off dystopian answer to Microsoft's Halo series, except like so many other game franchises these days, KILLZONE may have run its course. And why? Why? It's always had such a great style and attitude, even if the writing and storytelling has gone straight downhill, but KILLZONE Mercenary pretty much throws all of that out the window and focuses on what makes KILLZONE cool, which is the style and the gameplay.
Take cover!
Oh, and it's on a handheld. It's easy to forget that. While this looks spectacular on the PlayStation Vita, the majority of the footage that we'll see during this review was recorded using my PlayStation TV, which is like a consoleized PS Vita, kind of, without the touchscreen controls, but it allows you to play this game with a PlayStation 3 or PS4 controller, which is the way to go in my opinion. KILLZONE Mercenary was so over-engineered that it plays well on the small screen and the largest screen that you can find. And if you like sci-fi first-person shooters, you're gonna love this. Good news, the PS TV is really cheap. And the game's not all that much either. But isn't KILLZONE Mercenary just another first-person shooter? Haven't we seen enough of these? Aren't they all the same? Well, yes, it's another first-person shooter, and it was meant to obviously be a showpiece for the Vita. It's a Vita exclusive, but it's also really good because it plays well, and I think it knows exactly what it's trying to do. It's trying to show off the Vita by looking really cool, and it does a good job at that.
She's well prepared, ready to deploy the virus as soon as...
Unlike the other games, you're playing both sides of this ridiculous conflict.
Savage didn't give Gray
The Hellgast and ISA hate each other like peanut butter hates jelly. Why do they fight? Because they do. Now, what happens when you throw mayonnaise into the mix? You get a really interesting sandwich, filled with explosions. There's something gratifying about playing both sides of the conflict. Like, you're all idiots with expensive spaceships and fancy armor and stuff, so I'm just gonna blow up all of you. And I like how the game is compartmentalized into contracts. So it's not like you're playing through one storyline. I mean, you are, but you can easily ignore it and play it the way you want to play it. You can go through and play it normally on 3 difficulty settings. Or you can challenge yourself and play levels with an emphasis on stealth and precision with other objectives, earning money along the way to buy new weapons and armor and special super weapons and stuff. Killzone Mercenary doesn't do anything we haven't seen 1,000 times before, it just does it all really well. So in addition to being a great showpiece for the Vita, it's a great entry in the Killzone series, in fact, probably one of the best. If you have some friends with the game, there's also multiplayer, and if you haven't spent all your money on a PlayStation Vita memory card and have $2 or $3 left over, you can buy the bot pack. Because, you know, who doesn't like spending more money after you've just dropped $30 to $60 on a proprietary Sony memory card? Now, to be fair, you don't need a big memory card to play the game, provided you buy the actual physical copy. And while it does play well on the Vita, I think the best way to enjoy Killzone Mercenary is on the PlayStation TV with a PS3 or PS4 controller, because it feels like you're playing a PlayStation 3 game. As you may have noticed, the touchscreen controls, which feel a bit gimmicky in this game, have been replaced with button or thumbstick commands. So it works perfectly well on PlayStation TV, which is a really cheap and effective way to play Vita games, as it turns out. Not all of them work on PlayStation TV, but Killzone Mercenary definitely does, and it works really well. The sound is good, but not as good as the larger Killzone games in the series. The dynamic range just isn't there. But it's good enough to get the job done and sounds better with headphones. Not surprising, considering this is supposed to be a handheld game. Handheld games are like Tetris and Excitebike on the Game Boy. Killzone Mercenary somehow manages to do the impossible. It plays well on the small screen as well as the big screen. And I've got a classic game room shout out and thank you to send to Matt from Albany, New York, for sending the PlayStation TV, which I used to record most of the footage in this review. It works great. Look for a full review of that thing soon.
Get us those cannons now!
Killzone Mercenary is highly recommended. Make sure to follow Classic Game Room on the internet, on Twitter, on Facebook, and thank you to everyone on Patreon who helped to make this review possible.
Keep them away from that transformer.
Loads of new perks and secret stuff coming soon, as well as a pile of new Vita reviews. Thanks again to Matt for the PlayStation TV. That thing is also highly recommended. Good times.
Good in the hood.
Welcome to the club. It's the Lord Carnage Club, where I give thanks to these backers on Patreon, starting with Jeff CapDauntless Breyer, Ohad Kanne, Jack Stavros from Australia, Philip Michael Stiles of Ortona, Philip Straubenmueller of Vienna, Austria, Landon Ellerbe, Justin Duran from Palm Desert, California, Steve Chucknick from New Jersey, Sean Zoltek, Rick DeBarros, Pimp Trex, Al Stiver, Chip Senkbeil, Shadow Minion, for Lord Carnage, Busy Signal, Jason from Kamloops, British Columbia, Will, Zach Brenner, Sergio, Matthias Hergert, Jim Moriarty, Rob from Palmerston North, New Zealand, Kishorken, Soft Otaku. See you next time on Classic Game Room Mark III.